So the way things work, we got to sync our audio.
Right.
And Ethan, stop clapping.
I wasn't clapping. I was marshmallow clapping.
All right, carry on. So the way the way things work, we clap to sync the audio. I usually just count us down. So we say 3, 2, 1, and then we clap. Okay. We specify that because Ralph always goes.
Ralph always tries
3,
to
2.
do so.
Ralph's like, I'm gonna do rock, paper,
different.
scissors, and then clap. No, let's not do that.
But he's not here, so this will
Yeah.
hopefully go smoothly.
I just realized Ryan's fucking name on Zoom is Sexy Pants Ryan.
Big Pants Ryan. I know. I saw that too. As soon as he started
So,
talking, I was like,
It's a new name every week since we
that's
stared using
beautiful.
Zoom.
Only
mean,
the
like a
true
little
fans
Easter egg.
realize.
I
Only
mean,
the
Ralph
true fans
always
will
comes on
realize.
with a name that's not his.
Oh yeah, last week his name was Arneil Cruz.
Yeah, he tries to
was him.
prank us by like going on with like a different name. Like when we were playing fucking Minecraft a couple days ago, he went on and his name was Kristoffer Gosign, and I'm like, oh Chris,
Oh,
and then
no.
he turned on his camera. He's like, ha ha.
I can hear him doing that
I
too.
just changed my name.
Moderator.
Wow,
Hey.
Oh, that's good.
Hey.
I was
All right.
debating on coming in here as Butt Soup Barnes, but I'm new, so I was like, you know what? We'll go neutral. We'll go neutral.
Okay.
All right, let's clap. Ready?
Yep.
Put that water ball down. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Well, oh shit, that was actually really good on my
It didn't
end.
sound good on mine.
Beautiful on my end.
It was pretty solid on mine actually.
Why did mine sound like shit?
Oh, it's good on
It's because
mine,
you're in the
too.
basement.
Well, actually, no. All you guys sounded like you were on time. I totally missed it, but maybe
Oh.
But
maybe
like-
it was on time in reality.
Maybe-
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know how time
But I
works,
feel
so
like
I
that
think
would
we
happen
should
if you
just-
were
I
Wait,
think we
you
should
said
just
you
go
were
with
just
that.
time traveling, guy. How dare you assume that you don't know how time works?
I'll be right back.
How dare you lie? Oh shit! Well,
Oh my.
It's like the
Coffee.
other day when we were playing Minecraft. We were doing. Actually, we can talk about that later. 'cause
Yeah, let's.
we
Yeah.
should-
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say.
Let's
Okay.
get
save
into
that
it.
Ready?
anecdote
We're good.
later.
Also,
Okay, we
this
ready?
glare, is
Yeah.
it bothering you? Should I take these off? Because it's bothering me.
I mean,
for
I
all
have
of us.
glasses on too.
Take them off.
What?
I have glasses on too. If you want to take off your glasses, you can.
Okay, I'm gonna be blind.
Okay.
Wait, is this you're supposed
If I
to be
start.
reading questions as well?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. My phone's like right here.
If you're
I
gonna
can
be
read off my
blind,
phone.
so
I just
will
can't see your face.
Just kidding.
Well, I was like, oh, I'm the only one wearing glasses.
Hello, cowards.
Hi, I didn't see you there. Hi.
All right, we have a special friend with us today for this
Why
week's
did it-
episode. This is
Okay, why did it sound like Ethan fucking like nutted as soon as you started?
Why did you have to bring that up?
because he
What
did.
Ethan wants to do in private is his
Yeah.
business, all right? Listen.
But what he wants to do in public is everyone's business.
Okay, hold on. Shoulders down in the Zoom call is private, okay? Shoulders up.
Yeah.
This
That's
is my
public.
no-no square, and you can't see it, so.
He's completely pantsless. You just don't know.
Yeah.
We talked
Oh,
about
good. I'm
stuff.
happy.
You were like, wait, is he? Yeah.
One of
For a
these
moment.
days.
For a
Getting
moment ago.
One of these
demonetized
days-
3
We have
minutes
no
in.
hope. We have no
Yeah,
faith
really.
in you.
One of these days, Ethan's gonna stand up, and we're gonna see little Ethan too.
Wait, hey, whoa.
Don't
What'd you
call
call
it
it?
Yeah.
Let's
Sorry,
move on.
big
Let's
boy
move on.
Ethan. Sorry.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. That was
So-
not my problem with it.
Huh?
So, if you're an audio listener, you're not gonna realize this immediately. But if you're a video viewer, you're gonna realize that we have a very special guest with us today, Danielle.
Yeah.
And,
It's so
and-
funny
and-
because there was a
and-
perfect glare behind you, David. It made it so dramatic.
Oh, yeah, I had a backlight.
Yeah, it was so cinematic. I love
He's
that.
gonna
on.
come in and it's just gonna be like.
See, I wish I could. I wish I could. I also have a front light here. But I don't think you can see it. It's fine.
Really?
That's-
I just
have-
put
I
in
have a-
effort. It's fine.
I have a white screen on my monitor in front of me that's projecting white light to illuminate my face.
That's so genius.
It's not the worst idea I've ever had.
This pink light right here.
See, I have
Yeah,
a
it's
Home
pink
Depot
light.
clamp light that I put a dimmer switch on, and there's a ground wire just sticking out of it because, yeah.
So Chris is using a light. I'm using a computer monitor, and David's using a fire hazard.
Yes, exactly. My mom, okay, we were redoing the bathroom. We had to remove the bathroom lights, and so my mom's like, oh, it'd be great to stick this in the bathroom. Nearly electrocuted everybody. Yes.
That's horrific.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Always a fun time.
But hey, the bathroom looks nice.
Well, introductions.
Imagine-
Oh,
yeah,
right.
introductions.
That was an introduction in itself.
Yeah,
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 we all
really.
know I'm awkward and can't speak. Great.
I'm Ryan. I'm hosting this week. My week.
I'm Chris.
I'm Ethan.
I'm really
I'm Danielle.
And this week we're missing Ralph.
Yo, David was about to
I'm
introduce
sorry.
himself.
I'm sorry,
the
but we're
second
saving
time.
we're saving a special guest for last, okay? I'm sorry.
Get your Tiger King ass out of here,
He's gonna
Chris.
start crying. Look at him.
I'm sorry.
He's
I'm
so
sorry.
upset.
Tiger King.
I'm
Because of the
sorry.
leopard print. Never mind.
No, that makes
Carol,
no.
Okay.
I got you. I got
Oh no,
you.
Ethan, we all knew what you were talking about. It just wasn't funny.
No, I found it funny. I found it funny.
And this week we have a very special
So
guest.
offended.
The most special guest we've ever had. What's
Who
your
is it?
name, special guest?
Who is it? Who's the special guest? I'm
Danielle.
dying
But
to find out who
who's
they
the
are.
second special guest?
Oh, that's me. Hi,
Yeah.
I'm David Anthony Lynn.
Woo.
I'm a friend of Ryan's
Yeah.
from school.
Yeah.
Woo!
That's
Yeah.
a weird reaction.
All right.
Gotta love school.
So
Ooh, yeah.
I've been,
What's
Um,
school?
Gotta.
in case you haven't been following recent episodes, there's a virus going around the world, and we're all
In case you
stuck
didn't
inside.
know.
Every
Yes,
single
because they
episode.
need to follow our episodes.
So,
to know about that.
We've been.
Yes. I only get my coronavirus news
From
from
No
No
One's
One's Gonna Listen podcast.
Yeah. I think there's a virus.
Where would
Dr.
the world
Fauci
be without
who?
us, guys?
Yeah, I know,
Where would the
right?
world
We're
be?
so reliable.
Come on.
Um,
man.
Best news source.
Every week we've been having a special guest chosen by the host of that
Yes.
week's episode. We had Daniel Garcia for Chris. Last week we had Brandon and Rickshall, and this week I chose David.
I'm
Because-
very honored.
And we're honored to have you. So, David, let's talk about where we met.
Where did we meet? Was it just
So-
class?
Oh, that's awkward.
Initially, the first time I ever spoke to you was after.
Yeah.
So we're both in film school, and at the end
What's
of
that?
each year, there's an event called Finish Line where
Yeah,
they
I remember
show
this now. Yeah.
all the films the students made throughout the year. And David made an Oscar award-winning film about a Shamrock Shake.
Like
And afterwards,
The green
I'm like,
minty
I gotta
thing.
meet this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the green minty.
The delicious green minty beverage
Yeah,
from
no, it's a
McDonald's.
whole 5-minute film about that.
I love
A
that.
5-minute silent
it.
film, I should add. Just, anyways,
That's
continue,
great.
Ryan.
Just a flex.
It was it's a great movie. And afterwards, we were all hanging outside the theater, and I was introduced to you,
Yeah. By
and I was like, this guy seems really cool. And then I didn't talk to him for like 6 months.
Nope. No, I didn't even get your name. Didn't even get your number. I
Didn't know your
we
I
we
didn't know your
started-
name.
We just started shitting on other people's films, and that's how we met.
I wouldn't say we were shitting on them, but we were.
Okay, maybe I was shitting
this-
on one film, and then you guys were all nodding your heads.
Yeah, all right, buddy.
Pretentious film person thing.
Don't. So, a couple months later, school starts up again in September, the month after August. And in that class, we all got split up into tinier groups. And David was part of my group. And, you start talking, you start becoming friendly, and before you know it, you're married. And that's how we. That's
Got the
how
ring
our.
right here.
Where?
I actually don't have my ring on today.
This is
But,
right
wow, what the fuck, Ryan?
Wow, Ryan.
She's almost as good as mine.
Jeez.
So
Oh, yeah,
what
my
ended
ring.
up? What
Yeah,
ended up
Ryan, this is my
happening-
ring.
This is my ring.
Oh, that's so sad. Sorry.
I don't
take
get
my
it.
hand.
Why is your ring a heart, and why is the heart broken?
Because it's a cock ring.
That's exactly it.
Okay,
Listen,
Thank you.
the levels of my girth are unimaginable.
yeah, like holy hell, what?
Just bam,
Also,
just
the
exploded.
The
Could
shape
not
is rather
withstand it.
interesting, Marina. Can you comment on that?
Well, I
Yikes.
mean, like,
Don't
isn't
judge
everyone
my
outside?
deformities.
Why?
How dare you? I'm
sorry.
your guest.
That's
Why? Is it
true.
a medical condition? Like, should I get checked out?
So anyway,
Heart-shaped penis.
Guys, Ryan's been saying so anyways for the last 2 minutes.
Okay,
Let's get
okay.
this
so
over.
anyways,
So
what ended up
anyways.
happening is at one point we were told to make a documentary film.
Yeah.
I thought you were about to say makeup.
And my good
Class word
buddy
makeup.
Josh and I, we pitched a documentary, and our documentary wasn't picked, so we had to go find a crew. And through the darkness, a ray of sunshine came, and David said, "Do you want to work on on my documentary?" And we said yes, and it was the wackest experience
Oh, God.
any of us
So
have
whack.
ever had.
Oh, so horrible.
So-
Oh my god.
We're gonna get into that after we do the questions.
Right, okay.
So that's going to be our first topic. Danielle, do you have the questions for David?
I do.
Oh god, I'm so nervous.
Get ready, David. This is
Feels like I'm on
I was
board
gonna say,
right
this
now.
is your
Am I
make
the
or break
father?
moment.
God.
Can
No,
you
you don't
read
get any
them?
water.
Can you read them from bottom to top?
Interesting
Left to
tactic.
right or right
Yeah,
to
Ryan
left?
likes to start from the bottom.
Bottom to top.
Just
I love
putting
this
that out
Okay.
there, just from experience.
So
Started
our
from
first,
the bottom.
Now we're here.
Now we're here.
That's exactly it.
so our first question is from Josh Blair. Josh is asking, oh, okay, yeah, this is a question. Ingrid is our film mom. Agree or disagree?
Big
Oh,
agree.
agree. Duh.
So-
Ingrid.
Agree.
So Ingrid Veninger.
Me, Marina, and
is
Ethan
a-
are just like sitting here like, who?
Ingrid
Oh,
is
you
my
don't know
nan.
No,
Ingrid Veninger?
we're
Come on.
gonna tell you the ballad of Ingrid Veninger.
Ingrid
Ingrid
is my
Veninger
nan.
is a filmmaker from Toronto
Okay.
who got a teaching position this year at York.
Ooh.
And it was no meme, complete seriousness, probably the greatest experience I've ever had in school up to this day.
100%. 100%. I agree with you. Love Ingrid
She-
so much.
She is so motherly and so like honest with her opinions about your work. Totally cares about the students and what they're trying to do.
Oh, yeah.
Legitimately the best experience. And we started calling her our like film mom because what would happen is if you weren't in class, I'm gonna fix my camera. The way the classes worked was it was maybe like 20 people to a class.
Mhm.
And then only 12 people would show up every week.
Oh,
So
no.
if someone was missing, you would notice immediately.
Oh, yeah.
So she would actually like look for you the next day and ask why you weren't there and like make sure you were okay. And it was the most heartwarming thing.
Right.
Like she came up to me at work one day and she was like, "Ryan, I saw you weren't in class yesterday. Is everything okay? Is
Oh.
there anything I can do to help?" And I'm like, "No, I was just feeling sick." And
Should we talk
she was
about
like-
Russell then? Should we talk about what happened with Russell?
Okay, so
Yeah.
Russell is one of my favorite people in the entire world.
Love that man to death. He looks like
he
Bo
was-
Burnham. So just imagine
He
Bo
looks like
Burnham
Bo
in your
Burnham.
head. That's him.
Imagine,
Okay.
imagine Bo Burnham with less facial hair.
Yeah.
That is
Bo Burnham
literally
doesn't
him.
have any
Yeah,
facial hair.
I don't think I've ever seen Bo Burnham with facial hair.
Recently, like, well, in the Vine days, he kind of had like a
Oh.
stubbly thing going.
See, I still just
And that's
imagine
how I
him
always-
clean shaven, so I'm
Yeah.
there.
I
It's
always
like you.
imagine him. I always imagine him with like doing like stage shows and stuff. So that's like back then he had like the kind of like short beard going. But
Right,
anyway,
okay.
he looks exactly like Bo Burnham. He came to every single class. And this is a
Perfect
class, perfect attendance, 100%. And this is a class that like people would like dip on. People dip
People
on classes all the
disappeared.
time. People would disappear straight up.
There's a couple classmates I have not seen to this day.
Oh.
Like, just vanished.
Straight up. We're not going to say names, but they were people who were like in all of our classes last year. They were there for the first 3 weeks, and we never saw them again.
Mm-hmm.
Just damn.
Gone.
They actually
It's
never
like our friend in
existed.
the photography class, Chris.
Oh,
They were
yeah, yeah,
ghosts. They were
Who,
all film students.
who went back to a certain country after they
So,
deleted the drive.
There was There was in high school we had a class Google Drive, and there was a girl there who once she was added to it, she accidentally deleted the entire classroom drive.
Oh no!
And our photography teacher was like, "How do you delete the entire drive?" And then she was like, "It's fine. I'll fix it." And then that girl never came back to class again.
I mean, to be honest,
And then
I
one
would
day-
Honestly,
drop out too. Like,
Yeah, I would just
wait,
run,
wait.
just change
One
schools
day-
at that point.
Dude, one day she pulls up, like, our teacher pulls up the attendance sheet, and under the girl's name, next to it, it says absent, reason for absence, moved back to China.
Yeah.
And we're like,
She literally just dipped
she
out
was
of the
so
country.
embarrassed. She went straight
she
to
was so
China.
embarrassed. She moved
She
to
packed
another
her bags
continent.
and left. That teacher's like, "You think that's enough to get away from me?" He's gonna get revenge for that drive.
And, like,
That
we
teacher's
still talk
hunting.
about it, because it's, like, it was the weirdest thing. Anyway, so, like, Russell in this film class would have perfect attendance every single week. And then one week, he didn't show up. I think it was the last week, or second to last week.
Second to last week or something. Yeah.
And we're like, this guy made it 8 months.
Perfect
Without-
attendance. Always
without
there, like
missing
always one of the
a
first
single
people
class.
there.
He was always there first or second. And where'd he go? So people would always come in late to that classroom. Every time that door opened, we would go, like, ready to start clapping for him to
Yeah.
walk in. And it was never him, and we were always disappointed.
Yeah, but then he came back the next week. He was fine.
No, he came back in later. He was printing a script.
Oh wait, that's right. Yeah, he was printing his assignment because he's a good student.
So he walks in like 20 minutes into class, and everyone in the class, like even the prof, Ingrid stops teaching, and we all start going, "Yeah!" and, like, clapping and cheering. And this dude is just walking in, and he's like,
Just trying to get to class, man.
he's just trying to get to class, and we all start cheering. People are standing up and like woo woo woo.
yeah.
Keep in mind, we're not in a classroom for this class.
Oh, no.
Okay, we're in a conference room.
Yeah.
Oh.
They stuck us in a conference room. All the other screenwriting classes got actual classrooms. Not us.
Yeah.
Oh.
So York has a film wing with specific classrooms that are like sound dampened and have LCD and film projectors in them.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
Like
gorgeous.
Really, like honestly gorgeous, very expensive classrooms. And we were kicked out of ours and moved to a conference room on the office level of the building. So we're sitting next to like offices. Like there are like people like
Trying to work.
trying to work, and we're all like, yeah, like cheering.
You're all clapping
cheering
because
Bo
some
Burnham
guy
for walking
walked
into the
in.
classroom. So Ingrid, we love you very much. We're excited to learn from you next year because she
so
teaches
excited.
classes. Big fan. Watch her movies.
Yeah.
Sounds lovely, but like, hey man,
Yeah.
Laura. Oh, you haven't been taught by Laura yet. Yo,
Chris
Chris can testify. to this,
I can
man.
testify for that. We're not even in the same
Laura and
program.
Ingrid, they need to have a film battle or something. We need to settle this beef.
David, you're gonna like the next question.
Oh, I hope so. If not, I'm leaving.
It's from our good friend Nick McCann.
Okay, I already love it. I'm ready. I'm so ready.
Thank you for saying which one you were talking about. Because who reads from right to left? What?
I don't know.
Anyways.
Just
Manga readers.
Rank the Kung Fu Panda films, David.
Oh, easy, easy.
Is it easy?
this man's been waiting for this question.
You're rating all of them?
Okay, it's basically whenever we would like we had a teacher named Steve Sanguldulce. I think that's how you pronounce it. Super into sound, and so he would constantly teach us how to record sound. And whenever sound needed to be recorded, I would just give my reviews for the Kung Fu Panda franchise. That was that, and you know what? Because it's one of the best franchises
It is, yeah.
ever put to
Amen.
film. Okay,
They're pretty
so
consistent.
I'm just gonna point it out. On my laptop, I have 20 minutes of us standing in a hallway in a high school, and David just going, "The second one's really good, but the third one is super underrated. I believe it has a lot of great merits as a film." And we're just like, "You go on,
damn
buddy."
right it does. Damn right it does. Okay, so I'll start from like bottom of the list to top of the list. So I have not seen the Kung Fu Panda spin-off stuff, but I have
You're
seen the
not a
main
true
three.
fan.
Really?
Yeah, but
Let's keep it. let's
right
keep it
before my
calm.
review,
Are we
you're
talking
just
about
discrediting me.
just the main trilogy, like just the movie.
Just the main trilogy.
Okay.
Just the main
OT.
trilogy. So, number 3 is Kung Fu Panda 3. it's a great film. Just because it's at the bottom of the list does not mean it's not a great film,
Yeah, yeah.
right? It had a lot of development issues. A lot of people dropped. A lot of people came back. They went through hell. But it's a dope film, dude. It's so good. Like, Po finally reunites with his biological father, and then his biological father and his adopted father have, like, beef because they just both want what's best for Po. And it's
Spoiler
just... And
alert.
then Po just basically learns about his heritage. He spent, like, the first 2 films trying to discover who he is, and this third film is just him discovering who, like, his culture is. It's just it's a great film. Also, the villain's played by J. Jonah Jameson himself. Like,
Yeah,
it's
J.K. Simmons.
I was gonna
that's
say
right.
J.K. Simmons, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
in one
J.
of
Jonah
those?
Jameson
And
J.K.
Spider-Man,
Simmons
yeah.
plays J. Jonah
Oh,
Jameson.
that's who you meant. Yeah.
Yeah,
also the-
yeah.
but it's
He's
just
also
guy.
the only MCU actor to have, like, he's the only, like, superhero actor to cross over into different universes as the same character.
Yeah.
Yep, that's true. That's true. he's
Although
the
his
Jane
character-
Duty he's the Dame Judi Dench of the Marvel films. Yeah.
Although I think he has
He really
embodied
is.
Alex Jones in the MCU, like Logan.
No, I love
Yeah,
that
yeah.
so much.
No, he's literally, like, J. Jonah Jameson in the MCU is literally a fake news, like,
Oh, because that's what he is in the comics, basically.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
The
So
Daily
it's great.
Bugle,
It's
man.
perfect.
It's Fox News.
Yeah. It's great.
Rip.
But anyways, number 2 on the list is the original Kung Fu Panda.
Ooh.
It is a great film. It is, in my opinion, near perfect. And it's a story about a panda, who is just
It's a vastly different movie.
You just forget
vastly
sometimes.
different.
They're so lifelike.
Sorry, I was thinking of Beverly Hills Ninja. Oh no, sorry. Kung Fu Panda, the original one, is the second best Kung Fu Panda film. It is near perfect, but the top tier one is just barely better. But the original Kung Fu Panda is just a movie just about heart, about discovering who you are, about what makes you different, and how that makes you better. How that makes you the best version of yourself, and how you can still kick butt even if you're a fat panda. Oh, gorgeous! The music's fantastic. The cinematography's fantastic. Pretty sure Roger Deakins consulted on it because it's the Deeks, and
It's a real movie.
yeah, it's a real good movie, and it was so good that the Chinese government basically was like, this is just such a good representation of Chinese culture. How the hell was not made by China? Step up your game, China. And that's what the Chinese government said because it's such a good film.
Wait, actually, they were like,
yeah,
"Yo, we need to
actually,
step
yeah,
up our
like
movie
the
game?"
culture minister or
Really?
something like that was like, yeah, no, we need to step up our game.
Who would have thought Jack Black as a panda was to make
Yeah,
an
listen,
entire nation be like, yo, we need to step up our game,
Right?
man.
Dude, but it's so good. It's
It
so,
is.
and then because okay, hold on. Have you seen Chinese films? Have you seen that one where they
I'm
have to
watching
move a
Meteor
planet?
Garden, so I don't know if that counts.
I don't know if that counts either because I barely watch.
Please
Chinese
elaborate
films.
on the planet moving.
Yeah, so basically it's in the future and the whole world and basically the sun's about to blow up or something like that. So the whole world is like, guys, there's only one logical answer we have to solve this problem. We have to create giant rockets on the surface of this Earth so we can fly through fly through the universe and find a new home. And so basically, it's about a bunch of people steering the Earth out of the solar system, and then to try and find a new sun.
Sounds like my kind of movie.
It is like I think one of the highest budget Chinese films of all time. Yeah, and it's like, yeah, made a whole bunch of money because it's China. But then
That's beautiful.
the number one Kung Fu Panda film is obviously Kung Fu Panda 2. First animated film directed by a woman. She absolutely knocked it out of the park. It is funny. It is dark. It's about Po confronting the man who murdered his mother and destroyed his family's village. It just delves deep into the characters, and it's got Gary Oldman as the bad guy. He plays a sadistic peacock. What more do you need, people? What more do you need?
Not just Gary Oldman, but Gary Oldman as a peacock.
Murderous,
Peacock.
evil
Murderous
peacock
peacock.
Hitler guy.
That sells
Yeah.
it. Yeah, peacock.
Yeah,
That's
and
a
it's
very
just-
loaded statement.
Yeah, it's it's just incredible. Like it's, yeah, and it takes the Kung Fu Panda franchise from just being a kids film to being just art and cinema. It's, yeah, and just like Poe has PTSD that like he's been just like that's just been buried underneath him from a kid after watching his mom get murdered by a bunch of just goons and stuff. It's just really good.
It's so layered.
It's so layered. I wish I prepared for this statement, because it just most of these reviews is like, it's got Poe, he learned something, it's good, got an actor in it. But yeah, and also Jack Black's just great in all the films. Go watch the Kung Fu Panda.
Jack Black needs to get an Oscar at some point. Like, that man
he
is
does.
too precious.
You know how like
True.
Adam Sandler did like Uncut Gems?
Yeah.
Jack
Yes.
Black needs his Uncut Gems.
He does.
I would
honestly.
watch the crap out of that.
Could you imagine Jack Black in like an Uncut Gem? What's the
Adam
other guy's name?
Sandler.
Safdie brothers.
Oh yeah,
Get
Safdie
Jack
Brothers.
Black.
Yeah.
Get him, put him in a movie.
That's just gonna be the career move from now on. It's just taking comedians and then just like
Putting
throwing
them
him
in,
into high anxiety dramas.
Honestly, I kind of like that idea. I would
I would
pay
like that
money
too.
I kind
to
of
see
like
that.
it too.
Yeah.
Because
It's an
Uncut
interesting
Gems was
style.
one of the most tense things I've seen in a very long
Right?
time.
Have you seen Good Time?
I'm going to
No.
watch it
I
soon.
Oh, it's
started
so
watching
tense.
it.
It's
I really
so
want to
good.
watch it.
I feel like watching Ralph watch Uncut Gems was more tense than watching it.
Yeah, you gotta watch it
That's
with
a
people. You gotta
great
watch it
video.
with people. Because
When
when
I
you
first
just, like,
watched
yeah.
it, it was I was watching it on Netflix, obviously, and I was doing it by text with Chris.
Yeah.
And if like our texts are just, yo, this is pretty good so far, and then the next one, Adam Sandler is really great. Yo, this is getting really tense. What?
Yeah, and my favorite thing is I was like 8 minutes ahead of you. So like you would get your reactions of like mine like 8 minutes ahead, so you would know something's coming up if I just suddenly start texting you what the fuck.
Yeah, literally.
Don't kill me. I haven't finished it, but I don't care. Like
Don't
I
it's
started
good.
watching it and then I just couldn't. I don't know. I stopped. Like I think maybe I was just getting a little too tense. I don't know.
No, I get what you mean.
Coward.
It's a strange.
Coward.
I admit it. I'm a coward. Okay. Like,
Good. Listen, admission's the first step to.
I'm a proud coward.
I forget what the phrase is, but I know admittance is in there.
Yes.
Admittance
thank
is
you.
the first step to recovery or something.
There we go. See, there we go.
The
Admittance
whole
is the
thing.
first step to recovery.
Marina.
Is
the
admittance a
coward,
real
yeah.
word?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I think so.
Okay, just
Admissions.
checking.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you need admittance to get into this park.
Yeah. That's it.
Specifically,
I just
which
feel
part?
like a dumbass.
Like, oh, sorry, like an amusement park.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was
What
like,
do you
that's very-
mean?
Dude, so
Is park
speaking
an
of
analogy?
hold on,
Sorry.
speaking of parks and admittance, I think it was like Singapore. Like, do you know what Boston Dynamics is? Like the robot company. Yeah. So like Singapore just bought one of those robot dogs that they have and has had it
What,
go
really?
loose in the park
I
and
saw
just
those
tell
posts.
people like the social distance and stuff. It's the
you
coolest. We're in the
imagine if-
future.
That's horrific.
Is it one of those
Can you imagine-
things that you can like push over and then it like stumbles and then it restarts?
Yeah, Spot. It's Spot. It's like
one
one of the. It's like a small yellow dog one. It's got its own little claw as well. It can open doors and communicate with others, like
That's
other ones
serious.
of
This
its
is-
kind.
this is
Doors?
Sky.
No,
Yo,
no, no, this is
Imagine,
really-
imagine
No.
like, your door opens and a fucking like
This is-
robotic dog walks in. Like, what?
Okay, hold on.
And-
You think
and
that's
you're-
scary? Boston Dynamics made a robot that can do backflips and parkour.
Yeah.
I love that.
Dude,
I don't
it's
wanna
you
live in this
imagine-
world
I would want to
anymore.
ride on its back.
I was gonna say the robot
Yes.
dog uses its claw to open the door, and you have no form of escape, and your only defense is kicking it so it goes.
they're just taking one of those long sticks that they have just to push it back. That's the only defense against them.
Wars in the future are going to look very interesting because there's just going to be millions of those things and people are just going to be pushing them with sticks
Yeah.
to hold them back.
Brooms are gonna be the new weapons of mass destruction.
will, they really
brooms,
will.
brooms.
I
Brooms
think
are
it's
the
a
new toilet
Simpsons
paper.
episode.
That does sound like a
Sorry?
Simpsons episode, honestly.
Imagine.
Brooms are the new toilet paper in which all brooms will be sold out.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Oh my
As
god.
defensive measures. Back. Next question.
All right.
Next.
From Ariana.
Oh yay.
Will Dog Walker be made?
Oh God, I hope so. I hope. Okay, so like Ryan and I have been talking about this, right? And we were thinking about doing it this summer. Well, that's what the original talks were.
Yeah. But then,
But something happened, guys.
There's something in the air.
Don't know if you knew about this. Don't know if you've been keeping up with the podcast, but there's a virus out there.
yeah, I don't know if you've been keeping up.
Yeah,
with the
listen to No
podcast.
One's Gonna
There's a
Listen for the
virus.
only updates on COVID-19.
The only ones.
In the world. We're the
We're
only
your only news source.
Can you imagine?
It's okay, Marina.
Imagine if we're the only ones reporting on this. Everybody just gave up.
Everyone's like waiting on us to upload everything.
Oh, no, I was gonna say
the World Health Organization's taking notes. Like, it does what now?
I was gonna say, but they watched the whole episode thinking there's gonna be like more news, and the entire time they're just like they're just talking about kicking robot dogs.
They're ranking the Kung Fu Panda franchise in the middle
What
of
does this
talking
have to
about the
do?
death toll. What's going on?
Oh, by the way, survives for 3 days on most surfaces. Anyway, so if you kick the dog with a broom,
That's the only defense against robots and people, because remember,
What if
6
we-
feet apart.
what if we fight the virus with a broom? Just like
Listen, I don't see
wish.
how
Gonna
that
be a
could not
millionaire.
work.
Wait, no, Ryan, do it the other way. Do it the other way so that we can like fight each other.
On my screen, you're below each
Yeah,
other.
on my plate, you're back to back. Like
Yeah.
you're fighting.
On
yeah,
mine,
no,
on top
on
of
mine
each
we're
other.
yeah,
Like
on mine
you're,
we're
like-
back to back too.
Oh,
Sword
okay.
fighting.
Ooh,
Oh,
whoa,
What? What?
whoa.
sword fighting.
Whoa.
Who said that?
Oh,
I didn't hear anyone say that.
Whoa.
Hey, you guys didn't invite
Marina.
me. I'm embarrassed for you.
Chris,
too.
on
We
my
have-
screen, you were just fighting me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
So thanks.
That's so.
gang up on Danielle.
I'm all the way at the top. I can't get to Danielle.
Everyone's at the top for me. On my laptop, like it's like a strip.
Danielle, you
Alright,
didn't get
one's
mad at me when I called you Danielle.
Oh, I didn't hear you. I thought you said Danielle.
I corrected myself.
Well, she's
but-
mad now.
She's ready to throw hands, Ethan.
Careful.
No, she's
Ethan,
7 feet
look
tall
out.
and
Be
red.
careful.
Get your
300
broomstick
pounds.
I can't
ready.
feel
Look
it.
out. Get your
It's like
broomstick.
destroy me.
Guys, I
Everybody,
know.
grab your brooms. Danielle's on the loose.
We just all start poking her. Like,
And then
using
she
her
goes.
balance.
You open the door and it's just Danielle going.
Listen, that's why you always have to have a broom by the door, broom by the windows, brooms by all the exits.
I feel like that's some sort of discriminatory message underneath that.
The brooms?
Listen, guys, brooms have been underrepresented in today's media for too long, okay?
I meant using brooms against Danielle, but okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I was gonna say, I'm like, what about the broom thing?
Yeah.
All right, we
Listen,
have
for
one more
too
question.
long, brooms have been identified for only pushing robots.
I mean, we
But
didn't even
now
answer
we
the-
know they can push people, Danielle, zombies, anybody,
Danielle's not a
alright?
person.
I think you mean that we were just pushing them around for too long.
Ah.
Ah.
Good.
Yeah,
That's good, I'll give it to you that.
That's why
There's
Danielle's
no way we
such a
can top
great
that, guys.
moderator. This is why we have her here.
yeah,
Guys, I think this is a
like,
good place to
I-
end the podcast. Goodbye, everybody.
Okay.
We didn't even answer that question.
Yeah, we had the last.
What was the question?
Will
Oh,
dog walker
yeah.
be made?
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, I mean, like, even if it's just like me playing with dolls in my room just to get it made, it'll get made eventually. I know that for sure. I love the project too much to just let it go.
All right.
So yeah, it'll be made eventually. Eventually,
In due time.
in due time.
I feel like everything's just delayed. Right
Yeah,
now,
everything's
so,
just
I
on
mean,
hold.
Yeah,
It's not just
honestly.
you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
I
Everything.
tweeted the other day. I was like, "Yo, this COVID-19 is really gonna have the Monsters Within Us cast play high school students at 21 years old." It's
Oh
just
wow, that's
I
true.
mean, you'll only be 19.
yeah, it's
Okay.
true.
We've
you'll
become
still be
the
nice.
very thing.
That's so sad. Oh my god.
It's gonna be
we're
interesting
gonna
to see
be
Monsters Within Us
21
because, like,
next year.
Yeah.
Guys,
you're gonna be 21, Danielle.
No, she's gonna be 21 next year.
next year.
We're all
You're
gonna be
21 this year, Danielle. I can't believe it.
Didn't you
Growing
know I
up in
felt
front of
like-
our
What were you? Wait, what were you saying, Ethan?
No, I was gonna say, like, it's gonna be interesting to watch Monsters Within Us because, like, there has been like like in terms of the filming, like there's been gaps. So it's like there's gonna be some scenes where we're like 18, 19, and then final scenes where we're 20, 21.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be kind of
Is it gonna be like a Fan Four Stick thing? Like, do you guys remember in
Like,
Fan
you
Four
guys
Stick where
actually
like she
older.
kept like her hair kept
Yeah.
changing
Yeah.
because she'd
Because of the
she'd have a
reshoots.
really bad blown. Yeah, exactly.
Or
But
in Justice League, where Ben Affleck is like Batman, and the other time she's like,
yeah, like that's like right after Batman v Superman, and then like right after like the press tour, like 8 packs of cigarettes in.
that's still one of the best press tours ever.
Or,
The Batman v Superman one, where he's just like,
or Henry. Henry
But I remember
Cavill.
they had to. I remember they
Cavill
did
and
another
Henry
press
Cavill.
tour. I remember he did like another interview where he had to say like, yeah, no, I was just tired. It wasn't about the movie. Still think the movie's great. So like covering his ass.
Like, we
That's
know
not true.
the movie
he
was
was-
shit then.
Oh,
Come on.
Yeah. Okay, but before we move to the next question, last thing about Dog Walker, I am working on a storyboard. I do have a poster,
Yeet.
and I am in the middle of like just like doing some final rewrites. But yeah, that's all the Dog Walker news you're gonna get, Ariana.
that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
And our last question of the night from Tara.
That's
Who-
my girlfriend. Hi.
Yes. Oh. Why does Pickering suck?
Okay.
Very opinionated.
Hold
statement.
on. So Pickering is my girlfriend and I's hometown. One, I don't think Pickering sucks. I think, okay. So you know how like George Washington said that like the Senate is like the cooling saucer of like Congress or the House of
How does this relate?
Sorry,
never
yeah, I
heard
was
that.
like,
yeah,
where are you
so
going
basically,
today?
okay, hold on. So Pickering is kind of like that cooling saucer between like downtown life and like farm life. Like Pickering is like 70% farmland, but
It's Milton.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
No,
Okay.
That actually like
Yeah,
really
that's
like
some-
put things into
That-
perspective.
There's a
for me.
perspective.
For
Yeah,
real,
okay,
me
yeah.
too, yeah.
okay, sorry. Okay, so yeah, so Pickering is like 70% farmland, but
Okay.
we do have like a booming urban sector, like downtown area. We have a GO station that goes just straight to Toronto, and yeah, and so like most of the people live in the downtown sector, and so it does have like a little bit of that downtown Toronto vibe, a little bit of that like rural side. It's just like it's like a nice median in
The
between.
best of both worlds.
Well, not the best of both
Oh.
worlds, just kind of like both
It's
worlds.
the all right of both worlds.
It's the all right.
two
Yeah.
worlds.
Like,
The
yeah.
mediocre.
And so
Yeah,
a lot of people like my beautiful girlfriend misconstrue that as boring, where I think it's a good place to. It's so that the farmland and the city both seem interesting, right? Because like if you live in the city for most of your life, right? Like it's just the city. But if you like live right on the border of Toronto, then it's just like a whole new world every single time. And if you go, like my cousins live near Barrie, and my grandmother lives like 30 minutes north of that, in like the middle of nowhere. So like she's like on a farm basically. And so just when I go to the city or when I go to the farm, it both feels new because I'm in Pickering. Or yes, it is kind of boring, but I think it's designed that way, and I like the boringness. And also it's getting quickly gentrified, so it might not be so boring and might get even whiter by the end of the decade. But we'll see. We'll see about that.
2030 coming soon.
I kind of want to check
2030.
out Pickering now.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see.
Oh, but hold on. Here's one thing, though.
He said, "But hold
The
on."
one
I
thing
heard
about
bubble.
that Pickering has, a lot of you guys don't, is constant floods. So our
Love
beach
water.
is in the middle of being our beach is in the middle of being repaired because we had a flood last year that was just absolutely destroyed the beach. Park benches got swept into the water, like that sort of stuff. Yeah, and it was just right in the middle of like Pickering doing like this huge reconstruction project, like in like its downtown sector, and yeah, so everybody in like the municipality is just freaking out over it. And also, speaking of downtown construction, one of my favorite stories about Pickering is we have this new, I think it's a new nursing home being built. We have a nursing home there, but it's like I think like 300 people died in it because of all this. But they're building a new one, and in the middle of the construction, basically they're cutting corners because they want to be as cheap as possible, and so they didn't hold down one of the walls properly, and it slowly collapsed and just flattened somebody.
What?
Yeah, just completely flattened. And so for a while, you could just walk by and see the collapsed wall because they had to do an investigation. So that's just one of the most. That's something like you see in like movies or whatever, right? Like you guys remember Spider-Man, like the original Spider-Man, where like a wall fell on Green Goblin. Yeah, exactly. But you don't expect that stuff to happen in real life. But no, someone got flattened like a pancake.
Oh my god.
So freaky.
Yeah, it's creepy. So does your city have pancake construction workers? I don't think so. Oh shit. Ethan knows some stuff.
I've been waiting to get this off my chest for years.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Ethan dropped a wall on somebody. But Tara, I don't think Pickering's boring. How dare you? Yeah. Love you. Please don't break up with me, please. Pretty please.
Wholesome tings.
Thank you.
So our first topic, 40 minutes in.
Topic 1 out of 78. Strap in, folks.
I'm ready. Lightning round. Lightning round.
We meant bank account number. We mentioned at the beginning that the first project David and I worked on together was the most exciting 2 months of our lives. We almost didn't survive. That's not a joke.
It's not a
they
joke.
almost got shot. No, I'm joking.
So
someone from the school board pulled up.
Cowards and fellow hosts.
Oh, no.
This is the story of how Ryan, David, and Josh almost got sued by a school board.
I've been waiting to hear this.
Okay, so
let's start off by saying we will not give names.
Chris killed us. Chris was
the one who wanted to sue you guys.
Yeah, I was the one who was suing him.
Yeah.
The way this all started was David's documentary was going to be about a teacher he had in high school, and one that does great things for the community. He's a big environmentalist.
Saved my life.
Really great dude.
Fantastic.
Great topic for a documentary.
So
you have to go and get permission from the school board in order to film one of their teachers.
Which has happened several times before. I took a film class at I had to do the same thing. Like, it was a simple process. However, this was not no ordinary time. This was right before the teachers were about to do their huge teacher strike. And so the school board was not really happy about us making a documentary about a teacher right before the teacher strikes.
But they let us.
They let us.
So several things happened in the lead up to this. David called the school board in order to figure out all the permissions and stuff.
Yeah. And
they made David sign some things and agree to some things.
Okay, hold on. There's more to that. So,
okay.
I was in a huge long email chain with the lawyer. So said that he would handle it for me. Turns out the school board did not want handling it. They wanted to talk to me directly. So I was in a huge email chain with one of the lawyers from the school board about just what they wanted from me. And so I was like, okay, I gave them the pitch for the documentary. I gave them the release forms I was going to hand out to people, like all the legal requirements they wanted. And they're like, great, we're gonna send this to all the lawyers at the school board, and we're gonna have like a firm deal with you very shortly. This was 2 weeks before filming was supposed to start. They knew this because they also wanted to know when filming was starting. I had not gotten a word back at all. I kept sending them emails, nothing. Then the day before, I was like, hey, just want to remind you that I'm filming tomorrow. Could you please send me that agreement so I can actually film this thing legally? 3 minutes later, they send me the whole agreement that basically said, hey, you can film this thing just as so long as you don't show anybody, you don't put this on the internet, and you have to show it to us first before you show it to our teachers, or else we're going to we can legally make you delete all of the footage and the documentary in itself if we don't like it. Yeah, and this was like 24 hours before filming was supposed to start.
And you guys are in like your first year, aren't you?
This was our second year. This was our
year. Okay,
yeah.
Even still though, like they're just like, you got to do this, otherwise we're gonna destroy all of your work.
Yeah, and listen, I would have fought this thing, right? But again, this was this was like a day before filming was supposed to start, and what we were filming was a climate change strike downtown where was taking his students. We can't
watch it with the names. Let's watch it with the names.
Bleep it out.
We
sorry.
can edit out. We can edit out the earlier ones. Let's just.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
So let's
be careful with.
What should I call him?
Just say the teacher. Just say the teacher.
Say the teacher. So it was where the teacher and his students were gonna take his. It was a climate strike that the teacher was attending with his students, and so we can't exactly postpone a whole climate change strike. So, and I didn't have really time to fight it. So, in order to actually be legally allowed to film this stuff and use it in the documentary, I had to sign the forms. Not my proudest moment, but yeah, it kind of sucked. Okay, that was just all the lead up for your lead up.
It's the calm before
So we
the
go
storm.
we go to film. So he films the strike, the climate strike. The couple days later, we go to Pickering, to his high school, to film there.
Yeah. Film some interviews with the student. Film an interview with him. Supposed to be easy peasy.
Yeah. So it's important to note that we had allotted a certain amount of time for each segment of the movie. I think we agreed around maybe a week or two shooting schedule.
Yeah.
As we'll find out, we ended up shooting for a little less than 24 hours total out of the 2-week shooting schedule. Yeah. Because after that first day, we spent a total of maybe 70 minutes actually filming because there were transit delays. Snowstorm came in the night before. This is December, first week of December, 2019.
Yeah. I was literally stuck inside a train that lost power because of the snowstorm.
Oh,
and so
snowed that much?
December? I was just because they're just underprepared.
It wasn't even that bad. No one was prepared for it.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, and so
it just caused
train
total
to just lose power and shut down.
Yeah, they just shut down the train, and so it just kind of stuck there. Yeah, they just
misunderstood. I thought there was so much snow the train was like. Fuck.
No, like they shut it down. They shut it down.
Trains could do that for some reason.
Yeah, they stopped the train and then they cut off the power at one point, just entirely. So we're just in a dark train, and with only the reserve lights were on. But yeah, and so like I was an hour late. Like we scheduled a whole lot of time to get there early.
Yeah.
Because there was
get there super duper early.
Yeah, like
to meet him, meet the students.
Yeah, like we were supposed to get there while was still supposed to be teaching a class. Like we were gonna get there early, set up everything. Yeah, like easy peasy. No, we were just so delayed because of me mostly. Because like you and Josh live on campus. It was me trying to get up there. Yeah.
But then like we also had to get like equipment. The reason we didn't meet you directly is because we needed your help transporting sound equipment, the camera.
Yeah, because there's a lot of equipment.
So we eventually get there.
Yeah.
We film with the man for like 40 minutes and a couple of his students, and then he's like, "You gotta go.
Yeah.
I got classes to teach." And we're like, "Shame."
Yeah, and like and also like because the strike was about to happen, he had to fulfill everything he was supposed to do in a week in just a couple days. And so he did not have time we were planning on filming him after school. He did not have time after school to do anything other than get shit done before the strike.
Yeah. So we head in. We just kind of mess around for the rest of the day.
Yeah, we chilled at Wendy's.
Not much we chilled at Wendy's for like 2 hours. There wasn't much we could have done.
No.
That's the key point.
We improvised we improvised an interview with me, which I think was useful.
Which is also where I got the 2 hours of him talking about Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
So we eventually go home. The next day's a Tuesday. And Josh and I So it was beforehand. We had scheduled another date with the teacher.
On Wednesday.
We said, let's meet on Wednesday, because that's the day that he's not at school for the strike.
Mm-hmm.
He said, let's just go. We'll film you in like a Tim Hortons or something, or a library.
On the podcast.
Yeah, you
Sorry,
tell him.
my parents were calling for supper. Sorry, my bad.
For like 20 minutes. Let's just talk with him, get the interview done. Perfect. Right?
Yeah.
The next morning is a Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Josh and I are in class, and David gets an email.
Yeah, so basically, so texted me in the morning, and then I got an email, and basically said, hey, so because the strike is happening, like, today, and then, because the strike's happening on Wednesday, or starting on Wednesday, basically I got a message from the school board saying that if you film me at all on Wednesday, they're gonna shut the whole production down. And then I got an email from the Lord basically saying the exact same thing. And at the same time was also looking for extra funding from the school board for his environmental council, which was kind of one of the big reasons why we wanted to do the documentary on him, was because of this environmental council. And so we would have gotten in shit, would have gotten in shit, and just it would have all gone to shit if we filmed him on Wednesday. And so we just didn't film him on Wednesday.
So this is where it starts to get concerning.
Mm-hmm.
Because we could only film him on Wednesday.
That was the only time we had the camera. That was the last day we had equipment signed out for.
It was the last day we had equipment. Everyone else is booking out equipment so they can get their last bid in before Christmas vacation. Because exams started the end of that week.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the only time we could film.
Oh, no.
So...
And Josh was also leaving to go back home, like,
that was where
at the end of the week.
It wasn't like we could go and meet up over Christmas. Because you live in Pickering.
Yeah.
I live in Oakville.
Yeah.
And Josh lives 4 hours away up north.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot more difficult than Pickering.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we're in trouble. On top of that, if we go against what the board said, under the contract, they had the legal right to not only file a cease and desist, but if we continued, they were in the legal right to file legal action against us.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
For breach of contract. So at this point, we're panicking. Because now the whole production's, like, screwed. So...
also, now that you're saying that, we should probably bleep the school board's name as well.
Yeah.
Now that you're saying that,
well,
probably a good idea. My bad, guys. My bad.
We're gonna bleep everything.
But
Everything. This whole conversation. Just delete.
So
just gonna cut that out.
So we ended up coming up with, like, contingency plans. Like, can we video call him? Can we do this? Can we do that?
Yeah.
Like, it was impossible. And, like, the other thing that we had to, like, contend with was we had to have, even if we waited until after Christmas, that first week to, like, start filming again, we still had to have our rushes in, like, our raw footage to prove that we filmed it, in to present to the class a couple days after Christmas break ended.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes.
So we're in big trouble at this point.
Yeah. We can't film at the school because the teachers are still striking, I believe.
Yeah. We can't.
And also,
meet
school
him.
didn't start up yet.
Yeah. We can't meet him over Christmas because of distance between all of us, and we don't have equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Because our, like, other thing was, why don't we just use our own equipment? We have film equipment ourselves, but, like, if we can't get... It's not like we can drive 4 hours back and forth to get one of our crew members.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Our
just 8 hours
cinematographer.
out of the day, just driving him there and back.
Oh,
So
man.
we're dead at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So we eventually had to, like, bite the bullet and just say, can we meet you in a library the day before the rushes are due?
Yeah, basically. So the Pickering Public Library Pickering, great place. Basically has a whole bunch of soundproof rooms where you can study in without anybody disturbing you, or like not soundproof, like in quotes, but yeah. So I literally got in the moment the library opened up, rushed to a room to reserve it, and so that we can do this interview, because we're like, okay, library kind of looks like a school, because we were planning on doing this interview at a school, and so we just kind of rushed to just try and get like at least an interview, like a strong interview out of him.
So but that morning, we wake up to an Amber Alert or an emergency alert.
Yeah.
So Pickering has a power plant in it.
Mm-hmm. Great power plant.
Was that
Fantastic power plant.
I remember this.
Yeah.
I remember.
No.
So
Yeah.
everyone in Ontario on Sunday, I think it was something like the 9th of January,
Something like that, yeah.
2020, wakes up to see on their phone, incident at Pickering power plant, caution advised.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, everyone is like, "Oh, Chernobyl,"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it's a nuclear power plant.
Yep.
So if that goes up, it's like, bye Pickering.
By me,
Bye,
I'm like,
David.
Yeah, bye David.
no, I can literally see the power plant from my window.
Oh, no.
Like it's
Yikes.
close.
Oh, that would not have been good.
Hey,
So-
it would have been instant, unlip you guys burning to a crisp slowly as your every single molecule in
we
your body
slowly-
catches on fire. You losers!
David's
I'm gonna
just
be an
like,
ash outline on the wall, like a boss.
The wall's gonna be gone, man. There ain't gonna be nothing left.
Any bit of the wall that's left is gonna have my imprint on it. It's gonna be me going. It's gonna be
well, no, it
cool
was
as
at like
hell,
6
dude.
a.m. I was gonna say it's at 6 a.m. So more likely than not, it was.
Yeah, it would have been me curled in the fetal position. That would have been my
with the-
everlasting legacy.
With the imprint of a teddy bear also on the wall.
Yeah, got my blankie and my body pillow with me.
So what ended up happening is we're in such trouble at this point. It was eventually determined that it was a false alarm.
Thank God.
Yeah, really.
Or was it?
Whoa.
Yeah, God forbid we lose.
David fades away.
God forbid we lose Pickering.
This video cuts out right now.
And I fade away. I just ascend.
So what ends up happening is we end up getting there. We filmed this man for an hour. And then we make a 2-hour commute back home.
Yeah, and I'm so sorry for that.
No, don't worry about it.
But here's the
And
thing,
then
though.
I
That interview almost didn't happen because wife did not want him traveling to Pickering, because he lives in
Yeah.
Toronto. And so
Oh.
the teacher's wife did not want him going to Pickering that day. And so we almost weren't able to do the interview.
Oh man.
Yeah. So can you imagine? Like, that would have just been, at that point, we would have just done a documentary about, like, picking up
We were
camera equipment.
As soon as we got that message that lawyer did not want us filming the teacher on the day of the strike, we were just like, let's just make a documentary about how everything's going wrong.
Honestly,
Yeah, and
yeah,
then-
It would have
that
been so much easier.
Yeah.
So can you imagine just the panic we were feeling? We have no coverage of this interview. We just put the camera down. And we're like, film.
Yeah.
I was the sound recordist. I've never done sound in my life.
No. Because
So-
in that class, he was stuck in a group of like 8 people learning how to work one sound recorder.
Yeah, in the sound recording class, I was in a group of 8 people with one sound recorder. And it was like, does everyone know how to use the sound recorder? And we're just kind of
No.
like, I guess.
Yeah.
That's a negative.
So the first day when we filmed him at the school, it was literally just me being like, you click record to record, right? Like
Apparently,
that's literally
no. Apparently, no. There's
apparently
other
no.
steps.
Apparently no. There are like 4 other steps. You gotta plug the thing in. You gotta
You have
set
to
the
click
audio
record
level.
twice.
You have to click record twice.
You gotta hold it
And
down
then-
for 8 seconds and then.
And then you gotta press play to cue the recording so you can click record twice. Why can't you just go?
Yeah, exactly.
Because
like,
that'd
it should
be
just
too
be one
simple,
big
Ryan.
button, then you just. But
Exactly.
no, because that's
So-
easy, and we're in the film industry. Nothing.
So we
can
have
go
to make it
easy.
unnecessarily hard. So eventually, we sit down in the editing bay, David and I, to like figure out how to edit this thing, and we're just like, how do we? Because we have our entire documentary at this point is 99% a dude sitting in a room
Yeah, just one room.
talking about global warming.
Yeah, and then just like a bunch of hours of just people marching in a strike, and
Yeah,
then
so
a couple interviews
like-
with some students.
We're like, this is an issue. So David would go home at night, walk to his school, and then just film like inserts of the outside of the school.
Yeah, I remember my dad was gonna drive me to the train station to get me to York, and I was like, actually, could we just go a bit earlier so that I can sneak into the high school without any of the teachers knowing and try and get some B-roll real quick?
Espionage.
Yeah,
of course,
it was
son.
so awkward because like teachers were in earlier than I was. I was just out there, just filming from far away, so I wasn't technically on school property at some points. Yeah,
Remember when we
They're
were
just like,
filming?
Yeah,
taking a
the guy popping out of the bushes.
I was no joke. I was actually in behind a bush at one point because I was so
Remember-
embarrassed. I didn't want to be the creepy dude. Like, is he filming students?
I think you being behind a bush made it more.
Yeah, that's the thing. You see, you would be like,
no,
Yeah.
this was a
creepy
no,
dude
guys.
filming
This
me
was a
from behind
pretty
bush.
big
Yeah.
bush. This was a pretty big bush.
It was,
though. I don't think they
don't
noticed.
worry, guys. It was a big bush.
No, don't worry, guys. I got off clean. Big bush,
He had
guys.
camouflage and everything. Like,
So that reminds me of when we were filming Dab Fu, and we had to film a school scene. So you guys just picked up Ethan at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
6
and drove
6 a.m.
him to this. Yeah, and then
Because
just
Ethan
filmed him
didn't
for
go
like
to our
30
school, so we
seconds.
technically couldn't be in our school.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Yo, I didn't even realize that. Wait, I was like a fugitive in
Yeah, you were.
Ethan,
Oh, I
we've snuck you into that
forgot.
school several times.
Oh no, I remember like previous time. I didn't realize Dab Fu was one of them. Oh man.
The
Yeah.
biggest one was the From Now On time, where we had a whole crew.
We had a whole bunch of people who didn't go to the school, just in the school.
We brought
That was tight.
Rickshall in,
Yeah.
who's not even a high school student.
Yeah.
Was that the one scene that I missed?
Yeah, it is the one scene.
Yay!
It
In
is
the
the one
background.
You're in the background. You got 2 lines.
Love it.
Rest in peace.
And
from
now,
on.
look how Marina has one of the best GOOSHLEMS glow-ups. She went from being background actor number 3 to being a co-host on our flagship podcast.
Yes.
Look at
Yes, we stand this. We stand breaking through the ceiling. We stand this evolution.
that. So,
Break that ceiling.
Break
This is
that
a win.
glass ceiling. Representation.
so how this whole documentary
Do it for
thing
the
ended
brooms.
is us Googling free stock footage on YouTube.
Yeah.
Damn right,
Yeah.
baby.
And going, is that
Got some
crowd
news
shot?
footage
Put
in
it
there of like
Yeah,
rain.
dropping in, looking up ABC News wildfire story. And then you drag it to YouTube to MP4.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what our documentary was. I put in music from a Star Trek movie
Yes.
Because he
that,
gotta.
that my prof said, I love that music.
Ooh.
It's the,
Win.
you know what I'm talking about with this.
Yeah,
He
for
said
the rough
he
cut.
loved the
Yeah.
music. For the rough cut, he was like, I love the music. It's so beautiful. And it's so moving. It's from like a very like emotional, tender scene in the movie. And it worked really well with the doc. So then he goes, keep that in. The next week we show our final cuts. And he goes, I have a big issue with the music. That music is it's like it's from an action scene. And I'm like, it's from a dialogue scene. And it's a violin playing.
Yep.
With
It's
a
like a
flute.
violin just. It's like slow.
Do, like it's super slow, and he's just like in his head he hears do like
He's expecting like the violin from like action trailers.
Mm-hmm.
You think he just
And
heard
I'm like-
violin and it was like, that's an action.
and I'm like, this is interesting. So yeah, we lost marks on that.
Oh,
we,
but- Also, remember the other like what was it? The other TA.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah.
One of the other complaints we got on the editing specifically was I don't like how there's music with the footage.
What?
And we're like,
I'm sorry. Can you elaborate, please?
and she's
Please.
like, and our TA goes, yeah, I don't think I like the music with the footage. I have trouble differentiating the picture from the sound. And I'm like,
You should have just been like, oh, okay, and then you delete the video, but just leave in the music. So then
Yeah.
it's like a black screen. And
It's just an
a black
NPR
screen.
podcast at
like,
that
can you-
point
can
about
you get
some
it now?
dude in the environment.
so, so that was one of the most stressful 2 months of our lives.
Oh God. I
Um,
constantly felt like I was failing you guys. I was like, God, Josh and Ryan are gonna hate me.
No, bro. We hated lawyers who were
No, bro.
100%. Okay, wait. We have to mention 100% those lawyers were bluffing.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
They would never in a million years sue us.
100%.
What could they take from you?
Exactly.
They would never. Imagine the PR disaster.
Yeah,
this
in the
is.
middle of a teacher strike.
In the middle of a teacher strike, they sue a bunch of 20-year-old kids.
But there's the
We didn't
teacher in
wanna
the
risk
room.
it.
There's the yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And the teacher in the room, we didn't want, because again, he was trying to get funding for his underfunded council. And
So we didn't want to ruin anything for him.
Oh
We
yeah.
didn't want to ruin anything for the students.
Nope.
So we just had to abide by it with the threat of legal action
Yeah.
hanging over us. And that's the story of how we almost got sued.
Yeah.
That was my first lawsuit, guys.
Oh my god.
The
Thank
first
you.
one
proud of
ever.
you.
Thank you.
And that actually
Thank you.
that ended perfectly on
Yeah.
yeah,
On
we're at time
little-
now.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, this was a good episode. Thank
I'm
you
glad.
so much, David.
Wait, hold on.
Oh,
My
I'm
friend wanted me to say this. You know how like podcasts have like sponsorships and stuff
Oh,
like
okay,
that?
okay.
Yes.
Oh, we know.
Yeah.
Are we getting sponsored right now?
Yeah,
Time
so guys, do you hate yourself and the people you're with? Come
Yes,
to
yes.
Applebee's. Take your family and friends to Applebee's for a grand old time. I'm looking up the Applebee's
go
menu right
outside.
now to
Applebee's
see
got
if they've
shut
got
down.
like
They're still around.
something.
I've never been to
Just
Applebee's.
kidding. I haven't either. Just
And
kidding. Don't go
you
out.
haven't been to our great sponsor of this week, Applebee's. Guys, put in the promo code
NOGL.
Sexy Pants Ryan and get 15%
Okay,
off
okay.
on your your next
That's it.
order of
That's it.
Chicken Fingies.
I love
Applebee's.
God.
The,
Fingies.
more apples, more
The
value.
Baby Yoda special chicken dinner.
I just
Baby Yoda
I
special.
wanna say one more thing. So you know how we said since my TikTok went viral, I would eventually be reposted.
yeah. Sorry, I forgot
You
to
had to
mention
bring that
that.
up.
Wow.
No, how
Sorry,
I
I'm
would
in
eventually
the
be
midst of a
reposted.
celebrity right here.
No, I would eventually be reposted on like something.
Please, his head is big enough.
Physically, it is.
Oh.
I mean, that
That's not
explains
what I
the
meant.
outfit.
I just
He's
got-
just gone Hollywood.
That is not what I meant.
I just
Carol
got
Baskin.
on a tag from a fucking TikTok reposting account on Instagram.
Oh my god!
Oh my god, I'm getting
What's-
flexed on
famous.
as a
He's
guest.
too
on my
famous. I
TikTok.
can't associate with him anymore. He's too famous.
It's called
He's too
TikTok.
famous, right?
TikTopper.
TikToker.
Guys,
I see this.
Guys,
many followers?
Gooshlumps has gone too mainstream. At this point. We gotta
Too
pull the
strong.
plug.
Yeah,
Too strong.
guys.
They have like 15K followers, so like
We have to stick to our indie roots.
Yeah, like we have to be hipster like that. We can't.
Damn right. Hold on.
Chris, you're out. Bye. You're clearly you're
Gooshlumps has
famous
progressed
enough.
past the need for Chris.
Guys, stick to
Wow.
This man just
This
showed up
makes
with a
it.
fedora.
Guys, this is a fedora with D&D dice on it.
Milady.
I
Oh
love
my
that.
god.
I
Why
love
do you
lady.
have that?
That's his,
a lady.
that's
Ryan.
David's
Iconic.
final form. Oh my god, David, thank you so much for coming on this.
you,
I'm so
David.
happy to be here. Oh my god.
This was a great episode. Guys, who were we?
I was Chris.
We know that, Chris. Thank you. You're famous enough. We know.
Well, who are you?
The famous Chris.
I'm
Oh,
Marina.
TikTok famous Chris. We know who you are.
You know your name.
He's gonna be on Ellen next week.
I was Joe
Ethan,
Exotic.
who were you?
You were Joe Exotic?
Yeah.
Yo, Chris, you're Carol Baskin.
Oh, I heard
Carol
that
Baskin.
inside.
Yo,
Killer,
Chris, wait, where
husband,
are you?
Oh,
Oh,
no.
shit, you're right here.
Wait, no,
No, on
Ethan,
my
you
screen,
have
it's
to do
shooting
it
into the
this way.
darkness.
Yeah, you have to, yeah,
Yeah,
you.
for me, you have to do like up
No,
there.
like,
Yep.
like
Other way.
Yeah, there.
Yeah.
No, I'm above you.
Danielle.
Yeah, that's Danielle. You just killed Danielle. No, I'm
David.
diagonal from you. Yeah, that way.
That's Ryan. Oh my god.
Carol Baskin.
Oh,
Who
Danielle,
else?
thank you for coming on as the moderator.
No problem.
Always
you.
good
Not
to
like
have
I
you.
have
Ryan, you
anything
didn't-
else to do.
Who were you?
Just kidding.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was Ryan.
Sexy pants, Ryan.
I was Sexy Pants Ryan.
And who
Follow
was,
me.
wait, who's our special guest?
Yeah. Who were you?
Oh, I'm David Anthony Lynn. Come to the Ajax Home Depot off Kingston if you want to see me push and disinfect carts all day. Ayo.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch from the parking lot with some popcorn. And just,
Please.
No,
do.
we'll hide.
It's-
No, we'll hide behind a bush with a camera.
yeah, and take
There
photos.
we go. Make sure you bring your broom. Social distance, everybody.
Do you have anything to promote, David?
Yeah, Applebee's, our great sponsor. You can follow me at David Linstagram on Instagram.
David
That's
Linstagram.
DAVIDLYNN Instagram. DAVIDLYNN Instagram. There we go. I can't even.
This man here is the future Philly Angel.
Oh God, yeah, guys! If you could have spam Philadelphia cream cheese to make me their new mascot, that would be great.
Already, I've been
Spam
doing that.
That's
for
a
like
whole
3
other
days.
story for a different time.
That'll be next time.
All right.
If there is a
Um,
next time, I'm sorry, guys. It was a bad
Cowards.
guess.
Hey,
Thank you for watching.
you're a good guest.
Thank you.
Tone Boku Ramen, please sponsor our podcast.
Please.
What
We
is
got
the other thing
Applebee's,
I
so,
say?
like-
Oh,
We got Apple.
Yeah, we got Applebee's.
we'll be back next week. Same Goosh time, same Goosh channel. Ethan
Yes.
will be bringing a guest next week. It's Ethan's
That I
episode.
will.
And I was gonna say one other thing. Oh yeah, don't forget to tune in next week for all the latest COVID-19 news.
Yep.
We're
Thank you.
the
We're the
only
only
source-
We're
updates
the
on
only source,
COVID-19.
yeah. We're the only source.
We're the only
The
source.
only one you can trust.
CNN.
The rest are bullshit.
Cowards, thank you for. Yeah.
I
Cowards,
haven't even
thank you for
heard of a
watching.
BBC.
Oh, BBC.
BBC.
Goodbye.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.